What the most dangerous person on base is the one everyone forgets to say hi to. Not the ace pilot, not the loud captain, the quiet tech with a zip tie bracelet and a coffee that's always cold by 6 a.m. At Outpost Kestrel, that person is Rhea Calder. She moves alone through the hangar like she's part ghost, part metronome, steady, precise. On the belly of an AH-64 longbow, the M230 chain gun yawns open under her hands. Grease, solvent, patience. The base is still stretching awake when a flight crew stumbles past, half joking, half jerks. "Morning, Queen Zip Tie," someone calls. Rhea doesn't blink. She just keeps working. And then a sliver of fabric shifts. A faded patch, black and gold, peeks from under her sleeve, a symbol older than anyone in the room. Major Arden Pike is mid-stride, then not. Helmet in one hand, disbelief in the other. He stares like he just saw a ghost sign his name. Question: ever watched a room realize it's been underestimating someone for months? Stick around. This one escalates fast. And wait until you hear how it ends. It's wilder than the beginning. Rhea's ritual is monk-level consistent. First in, last out, no drama. She catalogs every click, every squeak, every whine an Apache can make. Silence is her favorite co-worker. Kestrel's a dust bowl tucked between mountains, where grit gets everywhere, including people. The young Metch razz her because it's easy. The officers forget her because it's safe. She eats alone because that's how you hear everything. Transfers on her file look random. Gray Mesa, Bravo Ridge, Fountain Gate. But there's a rhythm there, if you know how to listen. There's also a thin, pale scar on her wrist that doesn't look like wrench work. Captain Drex Hollis, hangar boss and full-time clipboard, drops an order. This bird wheels up by 1400. Don't botch it, Calder. She's never botched anything. He's already gone. Rhea rolls her sleeve once for the heat. That's when Major Pike freezes at the black and gold. Not a unit patch you can Google. You don't even say its name out loud unless you like paperwork and nightmares. He edges closer. Is that? Rhea's hands never slow. A microscopic nod. 10 minutes later, the hangar's tempo changes. Conversations shrink. The old crew chief from Afghanistan stops laughing mid-joke. MPs drift toward doorways like shadows, finding corners. More eyes find Rhea. She keeps scrubbing carbon from a firing pin like she's polishing a church bell. You can feel the air get heavier. You don't know why yet. You will. Pike whispers to a colonel you don't see often. A lieutenant tries to look casual and fails. Someone mutters, "No shot, that's real," and then stares like it might be. Hollis frowns across the hangar, confused why the pecking order suddenly rearranged itself without permission. Rhea closes the gun, checks headspace, racks the converter, click, click, clean. That's when the base commander arrives, Colonel Sabine Hart. She walks like a solved equation. Intelligence folks ghost in behind her, civilian haircuts under regulation caps. You know the type. Hart's gaze lands on the patch. She doesn't speak. She doesn't need to. Her aide sprints out with a secure handset like they trained for this exact moment and hoped they'd never use it. "Calder," Hollis says, a little less tall now. "What exactly is your MOS again?" Rhea wipes her hands and doesn't answer. Not to him. Minutes stretch. The hangar grows, so quiet you can hear the wind slip under the doors. Somewhere a socket rolls across concrete and decides to never stop. Then the aide returns, throat tight, eyes wide. A flash of a nod to Hart. If you've ever heard silence applaud, it sounds like this. Colonel Hart squares herself toward Rhea Calder and says, clear enough for the rivets to hear, "Director at Night, Finch, is that correct?" A dozen stomachs drop. One helmet clatters. And hollered jokes from an hour ago suddenly taste like dirt. Night, Finch. The program you don't write on whiteboards. Black Ops for places maps pretend don't exist. Rhea's eyes finally meet Hart's. Years lived there. Formerly, she says. On paper, I'm dead. Hart doesn't blink. We just unpapered you. Pike's voice is a careful whisper. Everyone said Night, Finch burned at Vorn Pass. No Sedabaives. Everyone loved that story, Rhea answers. It tidied up a problem. She gestures to the longbow. This aircraft carries Falcon Eye. Prototype suite Iron Meridian helped test before they sold slices of it to the wrong people. Side note, IR Meridian bills itself as a defense partner. Translation, Mercs in nicer fonts. I've spent 6 months quietly rewriting Falcon Eye to watch the Watchers. The patch you saw wasn't a flex. It's a warning label. She taps a tablet. The hangar display flickers to life. Signal logs, packet maps, a web of arrows converging on Kestrel. Someone on this base has been piping flight plans and sensor keys to IR Meridian. See the spikes? Those align with every mission that went sideways this spring. I followed the leak upstream. Hearts G tightens. How high? Rhea thinks, then chooses mercy. High enough you'll want a recorder. Low enough we can cut out. A low, rolling thump leaks in from the desert. Then another, closer. Little vibrations under your boots. Rhea's mouth tilts. We're out of time, and you're about to see why I kept pretending to be boring. Boom! The north sensor tower spits smoke like an overworked chimney. Sirens wake up the whole base at once. You can feel adrenaline slam the room like a door in a storm. Heart starts snapping orders before the echoes land. Lock down bays, elevate perimeters, push non-essentials to the motor pool. Rhea pockets the tablet and deadbolts are calm. They'll hit the hangar. They need Falcon Eye erased more than they need me dead. Me being dead is just their favorite side quest. Pike straps in without being told. Hollis hovers, the guilt of 100 queen zip tie. Jokes turning his ears red. If this is Calder, Later, Rhea says. Right now, I need your crew's perfect. Think pit stop, not parade. He nods, grateful for a job that isn't apologizing. Rhea pops the false bottom in her tool cart. Not a movie arsenal, just one compact sidearm, one ceramic knife, a coil of fiber sheathing that looks suspiciously like a jump rope. Don't ask, she tells Pike. Gunfire pops somewhere east, sharp and cocky. A radio coughs, contact, and then static steps on it. Rhea's already moving. Art, either you give me this longbow, or I take it. Kindly choose the option where I sign for it. Colonel Hart stares one heartbeat too long. Then, Ghost One is yours. Bring back proof. Rhea smiles like a dare. And maybe your faith in quiet people. Here's where you think they bunker down. Nah, Rhea's plan is uglier and smarter. We don't hold the hangar, she says to Pike as they jog up the ladder. We use it as bait. IR Meridian wants a bonfire. We give them a lantern and steal the night. Translate, Pike asks, throwing switches. We lift early and low, drag their air cover into a box canyon west of the ridge. Meanwhile, Hart spins up decoys, 2 birds hot and loud on the pad, one full of chaff. When Meridian swoops, they find cardboard cutouts and bad karma. Risky, Pike says, grinning despite himself. Everything good is. Outside, Hollis bellows at crews like he invented urgency. The same kids who snickered at Rhea now move with that terrified kind of precision you only get when your mouth goes dry. One of them, there's always one, catches Rhea's eye and blurts, "Sorry, ma'am." She nods once. Grace is faster than shame. The canopy seals. Rotor Wash grabs the air and rings it. Tower. Ghost One requests emergency launch. Ghost One, tower copies. You're clear on runway 1. And, good hunting. The longbow lifts like it's decided the sky owes it money. Rhea watches the scopes bloom. 2 heat signatures rising. Decoys. 3 on the horizon. IR Meridian inbound. A 4th sits wrong. Too clean, too quiet. Jammer drone, she mutters. They're smarter this time. How do we beat smarter? Pike asks. Rhea's answer is a small, impossible smile. With something they forgot existed. Cut there. Because the next part? Spicy. The jammer punches the band like a fist in a radio. Calm smear. Falcon Eye's feed fuzzes into knitting. Meanwhile, 2 Meridian gunships sprint in, rotor tips screaming, cocky as freshmen on day 1. Guns or rockets? Pike asks. Both, Rhea says, finger dancing across Falcon Eye. But first, a history lesson. She opens a maintenance menu that isn't a maintenance menu. Night Finch left trapdoors in places only janitors and ghosts would look. Under Diagnostics Legacy sits a subroutine named Lark Song. Goo! She hits it. Falcon Eye's screen hard cuts from static to crystal. Meridian's drone thinks it's jamming. It's actually doing karaoke with itself. Borrowing their own phase shift, Rhea explains. Queen zip tie trick. Thought you hated that name. Only when it's inaccurate. Target reticles bite down. Pike barks, Fox 2, and one Meridian bird becomes a cloud masquerading as a helicopter. The second jinks hard, overshoots, and eats 30 millimeters of regret. The jammer drone realizes it's been clowned and books it. Rhea tags it with a tone and hands Pike a firing solution that looks like cheating. Poof. Ghost 1 to Kestrel. Corridors open. Hart's voice comes back, clean now and sharp. Acknowledged. We got ground contact in 3 sectors. Hollis is holding the line. Copy, Rhea says. Tell him he's late to the belief party, but the snacks are good. Pike snorts. That a callback? Get used to them, Rhea says, eyes narrowing at a new cluster. Because the punchline is still coming. Being shot at is predictable. Being betrayed? That stings different. Rhea pipes Falcon Eye into base traffic and threads the needle. Watch lists, access logs, 1,000 boring entries that turn into one very interesting pattern. Look at this, she says, throwing the lattice onto Pike's secondary. Someone is whitelisting Meridian signatures for 5-minute windows, exactly when our patrols pause to refuel. That's not chance, that's choreography. Ooh, Rhea pinches and zooms. There it is. Lieutenant Mira Quill, logistics. Quiet, neat, relentless about clipboards. The kind of person who could move a mountain by filing it. Pike exhales. How deep? Deep enough to have keys, Rhea says, jaw set. But not deep enough to know Night Finch salted the garden. She compiles an evidence bundle on the fly. Packet captures, signature deltas, a tidy bow any prosecutor would kiss, and pings it to Hart with a priority flag. Package inbound. Arrest her now, or we lose the motor pool. 3 beats later, Hart's reply is all thunder. Quill detained. Good hunting, Ghost 1. You want emotion? Here's a quiet one. Relief. Not the screaming kind. The kind that makes your shoulders drop an inch you didn't know was borrowed. Rhea lets herself breathe. Once. Then scopes flower again. Bigger this time. Meridian brings friends when embarrassed. Remember the box canyon Rhea teased? It's up ahead. A stone grin waiting to eat helicopters. Meridian's 5-ship wedge pours in behind Ghost 1, eager to finish their homework. Rhea dials Falcon Eye down, so it looks like they're struggling. Actors, both of them. On your mark, Pike says, rolling the longbow into shadow. Wait for the echo, Rhea whispers. 1 more second now. She flips Lark Song to full send. Falcon Eye coughs out a decoy signature. Another ghost, 30 meters left and 20 up. Meridian bites like a hungry dog. 2 peel to chase the ghost of Ghost. The canyon walls amplify their own rotor wash. Suddenly they're wrestling a hurricane they brought themselves. Rhea tags the straggler with a ripple of rockets. It tumbles into scrub. The pair on the decoy overshoot, slide wider, and in that one dumb step they're in each other's wake. Physics does what it does when pride forgets it. 2 left, Pike says, already banking. Make it 1, Rhea says, squeezing. The chain gun thunders like a judge's gavel. Another Meridian bird turns into very expensive confetti. The last one panics and climbs. Rhea resists the urge to chase. Let go. We're not here to count wrecks. We're here to deliver receipts. They skim the ridgeline, the sky broader now, the radio blessedly boring. Rhea packages the full Falcon Eye dump, keys, dates, payouts, names, into a black box you'd need a saint and a supercomputer to crack. She aims it at CENTCOM with a Night Finch handshake that died with her officially. It goes. Think they'll believe us? Pike asks. They won't have to, Rhea says. We just sent them the whole ledger, and film Meridian signing it. Back at Kestrel, the smoke is less dramatic than you imagined and more personal, like 1,000 barbecues no one wanted. Hollis limps out with a grin that's mostly adrenaline. You did it, he blurts, then corrects himself. We did it. Hart meets them on the tarmac, flanked by MPs and a very handcuffed Lieutenant Quill. News travels at the speed of proof. CENTCOM confirms, warrants spool out, contracts start melting like sugar in rain. Heart salute to Rhea is crisp and deliberate. Director at night, Finch. Colonel Rhea Calder, welcome back to the land of the living. Rhea huffs a laugh that isn't quite one. Living feels loud. Hollis clears his throat, face softer than it's ever been. For the record, Queen Ziptie was dumb. I am sorry. Rhea considers, then shrugs. It was accurate on Tuesdays. Pike steps up, pulling a black and gold patch from his pocket. He's been carrying it all day like a secret. Feels like you should wear this on purpose. She takes it, pins it, not as a boast, more like a promise. The hangar watches the quiet woman stand a little taller. People who felt invisible 5 minutes ago inhale, like maybe the sun found them too. And because every good story needs a small, unexpected kindness, Rhea drops her old zip tie bracelet into the hand of the kid who apologized earlier. To remind you, she says, that tools do more than hold things together. Sometimes they tell the truth. So here's your takeaway, friend. The hero wasn't the loudest or the shiniest or the one with the best parking spot. She was the one everyone ignored, on purpose. The one who knew where to hide a trapdoor, inside the diagnostics menu. The one who turned a maintenance shift into a manhunt and a helicopter into a confession booth. If you've ever felt underestimated, put this one in your pocket. Quiet doesn't mean small. Invisible doesn't mean powerless. And sometimes Queen Ziptie becomes Colonel Calder in a single breath. Question for you. If you were at Outpost Kestrel that morning, when would you have realized the room had tilted? When the patch flashed? When the sirens hit? Or when the quiet woman asked for the helicopter and everyone stepped aside without arguing?